Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into something so common, so everyday, that you probably haven't given it a second thought. But trust me, its story is fascinating. We're talking about the humble hero of our cupboards and refrigerators. The carton. That's right, the box that holds your milk, your juice, your soup, and so much more. You see one, you use one, you recycle one. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what exactly is this thing? How did it become the go-to container for so much of what we consume? And what makes it different from, say, a regular cardboard box? Well, get ready to have your mind unboxed, because we're about to explore the incredible world of the carton. Let's start with the basics. What defines a carton? At its heart, a carton is a type of packaging made primarily from paperboard. Paperboard is essentially a thick, stiff, paper-based material. Think of it as paper that's been hitting the gym. But here is the crucial difference that sets it apart from a simple cardboard box used for shipping your online orders. The magic of the food and beverage carton lies in its layers. It's not just paper, it's a sophisticated, multi-layered laminate. Typically, a modern beverage carton has up to 6 super thin layers. The main structural layer is, of course, paperboard, which gives it its shape and strength. This paperboard is usually sourced from sustainably managed forests, which is a big plus for the environment. But paper gets soggy, right? That's where the other layers come in. On either side of the paperboard, there are ultra-thin layers of polyethylene, a type of plastic. This is what makes the carton waterproof and prevents it from turning into a mushy mess the second you pour liquid into it. But wait, there's more. For products that need a long shelf life without refrigeration, like UHT milk or boxed soups, there's an additional, even thinner layer. Tucked inside is a layer of aluminum foil. This aluminum layer is a superhero. It's an incredible barrier against light and oxygen, which are the two biggest enemies of fresh food. They cause spoilage and degrade nutrients and flavors. By blocking them out completely, this tiny layer allows products to stay fresh for months on end, all without needing any preservatives. So, you have paper for structure, polyethylene for waterproofing, and aluminum for protection. All these layers are bonded together to create a single, robust, and lightweight container. It's a brilliant piece of engineering hiding in plain sight. So, where did this clever invention come from? The story of the carton is a story of solving problems. Before cartons, milk was primarily delivered in glass bottles. While reusable, glass bottles were heavy, fragile, and needed to be collected, washed, and sterilized, which was a costly and labor-intensive process. People were looking for a better way. The journey began in the early 20th century. One of the first key developments was in 1915 when a patent was granted for what was called the paper bottle. But the real breakthrough came in the 1930s. An inventor in Ohio developed a machine to form, fill, and seal wax-coated paper cartons. These gable-top cartons, the ones that look like a little house with the pitched roof, started to gain popularity. They were lighter, safer since they wouldn't shatter, and were single-use, which was seen as more hygienic at the time. This innovation fundamentally changed the dairy industry and how milk was delivered to homes. The next giant leap came in the 1950s with the invention of the aseptic carton, the brick-shaped one we know and love for juices and long-life milk. This was the brainchild of the Swedish company Tetra Pak. Their innovation wasn't just the box itself, but the entire system of sterilizing the packaging material and the food product separately, and then filling and sealing it in a completely sterile environment. This is what aseptic means. This process, combined with that amazing layered material we talked about, meant that perishable liquids could be stored for a long time without refrigeration. It was revolutionary. It allowed food and drinks to be transported and sold in places that lacked a robust, cold chain of refrigerated trucks and stores. It opened up new markets and made nutritious food more accessible to people all over the world. From those early days, carton technology has continued to evolve. Today, there's a huge variety of shapes, sizes, and opening mechanisms. We have resealable screw caps, pull tabs, and perforated openings, all designed for our convenience. Manufacturers are constantly working to make them even better, using less material, increasing the amount of renewable content, and designing them to be even easier to recycle. Now, let's talk about why cartons have become so popular. What are their superpowers? First up, they are incredibly efficient. Because they are lightweight and have a space-saving rectangular shape, you can pack more products onto a truck or a supermarket shelf, compared to round bottles or cans. This means fewer trucks on the road, which translates to lower transportation costs and a smaller carbon footprint. They are essentially designed for logistical efficiency from the factory to your fridge. Secondly, as we've discussed, they are amazing at protecting the product. The combination of layers safeguards the contents from light, oxygen, and external contaminants, preserving the taste, vitamins, and overall quality of the food inside. This protection also reduces food waste because the products last longer. Third, and this is a huge one, is their environmental profile. The primary raw material, paperboard, comes from wood, which is a renewable resource. Companies that make cartons are heavily invested in responsible forestry. This means that for the trees that are harvested, new ones are planted, ensuring the forest continues to grow and thrive. When you compare a carton to a plastic or glass bottle of the same size, the carton often has a lower carbon footprint throughout its life cycle, from creation to disposal. And that brings us to a really important topic: recycling. Can you recycle cartons? Absolutely, yes. This is a common point of confusion for people because of the mixed materials. But the recycling process is actually pretty cool. At a specialized recycling mill, the cartons are put into a giant blender called a plopper, which is basically like a huge kitchen blender filled with water. The water and agitation separate the paper fibers from the plastic and aluminum layers. The paper fibers, which make up the bulk of the carton, are recovered and used to make new paper products like paper towels, tissues, and even new cardboard boxes. They get a whole new life. The remaining plastic and aluminum, often called polyal, can also be repurposed. Some facilities use them to generate energy, while others are developing ways to turn them into new products like roof tiles, benches, and other durable building materials. The key is to make sure you're putting them in the right bin. Most local recycling programs now accept cartons, but it's always a good idea to check your local guidelines. Just remember to empty them out before you toss them in. So, the next time you pour a glass of orange juice, open a carton of chicken broth for your dinner, or grab a carton of almond milk for your coffee. Take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey and clever science packed into that simple box. It's a product of over a century of innovation, designed to be efficient, protective, and increasingly sustainable. It has changed the way we eat and drink, making our lives more convenient and our food safer and more accessible. It is a perfect example of how sometimes the most ingenious designs are the ones that blend so seamlessly into our daily lives that we barely even notice them. They just work. The carton is truly an unsung hero of the modern world, quietly doing its job from the supermarket shelf to your kitchen table. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of cartons. I hope you found it as interesting as I do. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the fascinating stories behind everyday objects. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's another everyday item you'd like me to investigate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.